Hello everyone and welcome to J&J Do Dev. I'm Gene3X and today I'll be showing you how to prepare your images for the web by reducing their sizes and allowing for faster image downloads. Methods which we'll discuss include lowering image resolution, cropping, removing EXIF data, using CDNs and others. This video is mainly orientated towards people developing websites, but it can provide useful information for any person on the internet if they use, download or work with images. Before we discuss the different image size reduction methods, it is important to understand the why. One of the first reasons is to save time. Have you ever had to wait for a web page or image to load? Yeah, it can be quite annoying and time wasting, especially when our internet connection is slow due to a storm, a bad connection or another reason. If you have a website and it takes a lot of time for your images to load, then there's a high chance that some users will either get annoyed or leave your website completely. It just feels much better to get things loaded quickly. Another reason is data saving, which is usually an issue with phones. Different phone internet companies exist in different countries, but often you have limited phone data. By reducing the size of your images, you're literally saving money for your website visitors. On your side, many hosting services have per gigabyte of transfer data prices, such as Amazon Web Services, or have a total amount of data you can transfer, such as Verso. By using small as possible images, you save bandwidth and therefore money. Yet another reason is search engine optimization, or SEO for short. Some web engines, such as Google or Bing, may rank your website higher if it is faster. By having small images, you can reduce the load time of your page, leading to better performance. The last reason that I'll discuss is the ability to save disk space. Even though nowadays storage is rather cheap, if you have a gallery with thousands of images, being able to reduce their sizes can substantially reduce your storage costs. With some of the main reasons explained, let us explore the most common methods. The first method which I will explore is image resolution reduction. By definition, the resolution of an image is the measurement of the number of pixels in an image, also known as individual points of color. Every image has some resolution, and usually the higher the resolution, the more details there are in the image. In that line of thought, we can say that the higher the resolution, the better looking the image will be. But that also means that there will be more data in the image that will have to be downloaded. By reducing the resolution of an image, we can lower its size, sometimes by a lot. If we have an image with dimensions of 1280 width pixels by 720 height pixels, that would be 921,600 pixels of data. If each pixel is 3 bytes, that is nearly 3 megabytes of uncompressed image of such resolution. We will explore compression in a bit. While a detailed image such as that one will be good for 4K or 8K monitors, but when it comes down to small screen devices such as mobile phones, we would usually not be able to see all the small details in that image. In such cases, you could easily reduce the size of the image by reducing its resolution while keeping its aspect ratio. If we were to reduce the image to 640 width pixels and 360 height pixels, we would reduce the size of the image to nearly 691 kilobytes, a nearly 76% reduction. This is a staggering improvement, especially when we know that most websites use multiple images per web page, meaning that you can shave off a lot of data for such an insignificant change. Another technique is to crop an image. It pretty much means to use only the part of the picture you're interested in. The rest is removed. If we use the previous example of an image with 1280 by 720 dimensions, if we cut the image in vertical half, we would end up with 1280 by 360 image, resulting in a 50% size reduction. Unfortunately, this method can be applied only to the parts of the image you will not need. You won't be able to crop an image of cute puppies, since you need to display all of them. An important, but not very size-reducing concept is the removal of EXIF data of an image. Anytime an image is taken through a camera, the device and its software that takes the image often embeds additional information for the image into the image file itself. This can include things such as date of creation, date of modification, location of where the image was taken, device model which took the image, and many other attributes, which usually the device image settings define. Such data can be added to images once they have been edited with software as well. This information is usually not very heavy, meaning removing it or not won't make much difference in the image size, but it is of key importance to remember that often such information on a picture on the internet can have devastating security consequences. Yes, Bob, I'm talking about you, flexing with a damned iPhone 14 when you're clearly using Nokia from 2015. Your image data tells me everything. By definition, compression is the reduction in volume of something. When it comes to digital information, it means representing it in a smaller than the original size. We won't dive much into the details of compression, but what needs to be known is that there are two main types of it. Lossless, meaning any information that is reduced can later be expanded to its original size, and lossy, where some details are lost and cannot be returned. Because images can sustain information loss without high loss of important details, they're usually compressed with lossy algorithms, which allow some images to be compressed as much as 70 to 80% of their original sizes without losing too much details. There are a lot of algorithms out there that are used for compression. By doing a simple web search, you can find a lot of websites that offer free image compression, such as imagecompressor.com, tinypng.com, and others. In some algorithms, you can also specify how much trade-off of quality versus size you're willing to make. Next on the list, image formats. They can be understood by saying that they're containers for image information, pixels and their colors. Different formats, containers, store information in different ways. There are a lot of image formats out there, but the general ones include PNG, JPEG, SVG, and newer formats such as WebP. In order for an image to be represented on the web, the browser you're using needs to support the specific format. Formats such as JPEG and PNG, which are older, have higher browser support, but are usually less optimized, since formats such as WebP and EXIF are newer and normally more optimized. The same image can be represented in a smaller size, but it is not supported by older browser versions. It is usually a good idea to provide images in multiple formats, so you can use newer ones, and if a browser does not support it, it can fall back to an older one. An additional bit of information is that different image containers can have their own specific traits, such as PNG images being able to be transparent, while JPEG ones are not. GIF being a form of animated images, and SVG, which can be scaled to any resolution without loss of quality. A way to reduce download times for an image without lowering its size is image sprites. An image sprite is pretty much many images combined into one. On the web, this is usually done with multiple small icons being concatenated into one. When a specific icon from the sprite needs to be used, we use CSS to cut the image and display only the part we need from the image. It can also be used in other contexts, such as when you need to send many small images. The main reason for doing that is that in some situations it can reduce the download time of the images. Let me explain. When you visit a website, the website will use one of the few HTTP related protocols to send the web page data to you. Two of the first such protocols were HTTP/1.0 and HTTP/1.1, which nowadays are being replaced by HTTP/2.0 or QUIC. These first protocols had to open a new connection with the server that was serving the images for every new image. That meant if your web page had 20 icons, your computer would have to open at least 20 new TCP connections to the website server in order to download these icons. In order to open a TCP connection, a handshake needs to be performed between your computer and the website server. Without going into too much detail, it pretty much means that you have to exchange some useless, in this case information, so you can download a simple small image. This exchange also takes additional time to be performed, meaning that the icon you requested will come even later. By combining all these small images into one, you can make a single connection, speeding up the delivery of that information by a lot. With newer HTTP protocols, This is mostly mitigated by using a single connection to send multiple files. By 2020, 50% of the websites were still using HTTP/1. However, this concept can still be used in other non-web environments where multiple connections need to be established for transferring many small images. Another widely used method to use images on the web is through the use of Content Delivery Network, CDN for short. CDN refers to a geographically distributed group of servers that work together to provide fast delivery of internet content, images in this case. This works by first finding a company that provides CDN services, such as Cloudflare, Amazon CloudFront, or others. Different companies will have different methods, but the outcome is the same. Once you upload your images, you will be given an URL that can then be referenced by your web page. The main difference between hosting images yourself and using such a service to host your images is that CDNs have multiple servers and data centers around the world, which allows your users to download images much faster because the images will be coming from somewhere near them instead of all the way from your server. It is important to note that when picking a CDN, you should probably try to find one with as many as possible locations around the world. After all, the main reason we use CDN is so that our users can download these images faster, because the images need to travel only short distances. If the closest CDN server to a user is far away, then there will be no benefit to using it. This has been an explanation of the most common methods to reduce the size of images and or increase their download speed. Some methods, such as image formats, CDNs, and compression, should be explored in further detail because they're big topics. Hopefully, this video has helped you find a few new strategies on how to optimize your website. Thank you for watching and make sure to subscribe for more content.